Hello guys, in this video we're going to study the philosophy in Chinese medicine and acupuncture. In Chinese medicine and acupuncture, we use a lot of philosophy to analyze our human health and including the physiological condition and the pathogenic condition. So we use a lot of philosophy to understand our human body in terms of how the human body works, or what's the relationship between a human body and the pathogens from the nature or the condition. When being sick, how to understand diseases. We use a lot of philosophy to understand them. So from today, we're going to study what kinds of philosophy we use in acupuncture theories. So the philosophy we use here mostly include these three theories. The first one is the essence and qi theories, yin and yang theories, and the five elements theories. These theories we actually adopted from Asian philosophy. The Asian philosophy, these philosophies not only applies in medicine, it can apply in other aspects of the society. That's also why if you watch the other video, you will see how we use these philosophy to analyze our society, and also how to use this philosophy to judge the development of everything, even the country. That's also why in Chinese medicine we got the saying, the top daughter, the most talented daughter, they can treat the country, to help the country to run well. The reason is because we use the same philosophy of the essence of yin and yang, of the five elements. We use these theories to understand the relationship of our organs, the relationship from our human body and the pathogens in the nature. And but also they use this philosophy to understand human beings as the units in the society. So from today we're going to study all of these theories, and in future you will see these. We actually use these theories quite a lot, almost in your daily practice. Every day in your practice, when you see patients, you're going to analyze the patient with these theories. So before we start the theories in details, especially for the essence, the first theories we're going to study is the essence and qi theories. In Chinese medicine and also in acupuncture, so whenever we say the Chinese medicine theories, the same as acupuncture theories, because these are the same, we share the same theories, and acupuncture is a part of Chinese medicine. It's only a kind of treatment from Chinese medicine. So in Chinese medicine theories, we said that qi, or clear qi, is the component of human. In other words, human beings are made of the clear qi, and the cloudy qi is the component of the wombs. In other words, clear qi, when they gather together, they become human beings. The cloudy qi, when they gather together, become wombs. That's when you heard from here, it should ring the bells that in the previous videos we said that where human come from. And at that time I told you that we don't focus on there because that's not something we focus on. It's from the religion. From those questions are for the religions or for the philosophies or for the philosophers. So, but here we pick this question again. We mentioned that human being is from the Qi gathering. Where human come from? We said human being is from Qi gathering, and the clear Qi. When they gather together, it becomes human. The crowded Qi, when they gather together, it becomes a womb. We agreed or not? So you need to think about this. The clear Qi, when they gather together, become human. The crowded Qi, when they gather together, become womb. We agree or not? Some students, they will say that's insane. How can human being is made of Qi, very clear Qi and crowded Qi? This is the argument from our contact classes previously, when I mentioned in the class that human being is from the clear Qi, worms or the plants is from the crowded Qi or the other kinds of Qi. It got very big arguments in the class. But then when I show you the other picture, the picture on the right side, you see I gave you one example there. From the right side, the chemical elements, planets, the earth itself, are human beings, the worms, the trees, the plants. Then here I gave you one statement that all objects or all substance in the world or even in the universe are made of chemical elements. Do you agree or not, this statement? So different chemical elements, different objects, such as the earth, the planet itself, the scientists, they actually can find certain percentage of the sodium, certain percentage of the calcium in the planet. So from the science part, they will tell you that the earth is consisting of how many percentage of sodium, how many percentage of carbs. A human being also the same. The components of human being from chemistry, you will see that human being also made from the chemical elements. All substance, all objects in the world are consisted of the chemical elements. Though this statement everyone agrees, and that's also from the science. Then when you compare these two pictures, the one on the left and the one on the right side, the components of a human being, for instance, the certain percentage of sodium, certain percentage of carbs, certain percentage of other elements. So this group of chemical elements, or this group of, or if we call them formula, we gave them a name, such as 5% of sodium, 10% of calcium. When you put together, then we give this component, these ingredients, a title. We call we call them the clear qi. And then when you study the worms, any kinds of a worm, they also got different formulas, got different components of them. These ingredients from the chemical elements, we also gave them another title. We called cloudy qi. Now, do you agree that that's the questions I asked previously? A human being is made of clear qi, and the worms is made of cloudy qi. And then the clear qi refers to chemical elements. When you heard of this, most of you will agree this kind of statements actually. But then you need to imagine again, you need to think again, the formula, in the ingredients of our human body from the chemical elements. That's something we can test. The science, they can tell us. You put this ingredients of human body, you put in a lab. For instance, you put in a tube in a lab. Will these components transferred or transformed into a human? The answer is no, obviously no. So which means the human being, which the statement I gave you previously, the human being is made from the clear qi. The clear qi, what exactly the clear qi? The clear qi might be the chemical elements, but not only. That's why we use the clear qi. We still keep the word qi, and we don't replace the qi with other English words. The reason is that we cannot find one single word can represent the same definition of qi. So the clear qi can be the chemical elements, can be other stuff, and it actually refers to all kinds of stuff that's consisted in our human body, and to make our human body active. So when we use this definition, this term as an example, qi is actually quite universal terms in Chinese medicine, and actually also in Chinese culture. There's a lot of stuff we named after qi. So when we start with this kinds of medical term in Chinese medicine, don't only focus on the words itself. For example, at the beginning of this video, I gave you the question that's, or I gave you the definition that the human being is made of clear qi. And then when you see from here, you're going to be confused. You're against of the statements. Human being is not made from qi. Human being is not made from, or I don't believe that human being is made from qi, or human being is made, I believe that human being is from God. That's exactly why we don't really need to focus on here, because what we care about is what's the movement. We don't care about what exactly the qi, what's the substance of the qi. We care about how the qi moves, what's the function of the qi, because once they gather together, become human being. How the qi function well is how the human being become healthy. That's why no matter where we come from, where human come from, if you said the human being is the God made human being, then in the other words, we also can say that the God used the qi to make human being, the substance, the structure of human being. no matter from the past life or from which religion, the agent, the vehicle in between, how to make human being, we call them qi. So when you use this, when you study this term, you will face a lot of this kind of term, such as yin and yang, the five elements, the earth, the wood. What does it mean by these terms? So what's important when we study these terms is you need to understand the philosophy behind these terms. Don't only focus on the words itself. You also can change the qi if you want to, such as formula or the career qi you use. You can say it's the formula A or formula B. Then it will be much easier for you to accept this kind of theories. It is true, but sometimes the words cause confusion. We're going to separate the theories into the philosophy field and Chinese medicine field. The reason is because that in these two fields, the definition of the essence and qi is slightly different. So the essence and qi theories is the first theories we're going to study, and the essence in Mandarin we call it Jing. So essence and qi theories, also called as Jing-qi theories. In the philosophy field, Jing-qi theories or the essence and qi theories is an ancient philosophy that studied the connotation of essence and the laws of movements and transformations, and it's used to explain the origin and development of all things in the universe, all objects in the universe. So from the definition, you will see that we actually use these theories to explain everything in the universe. You try to understand everything from the essence and qi theories. So what exactly are qi or and the essence? From the definition, you see that it refers the essence and qi in philosophy. It actually refers to the same stuff, essence or qi, or essence qi. It's just different names for the same objects. It refers to qi, which is invisible to the naked eye, so we can't see from the sphere, and constantly moving, extremely fine substance, and it's the origin of all things in the universe. In some cases, it refers to the essence of qi, which is the origin of human beings. So from this definition, you can see that the characters of essence qi and qi. Although we don't know what exactly they are, but we know the characters of essence and qi. Invisible, we can't. So the first is we can't see. So don't ask me, show me the essence or show me the qi, then I can believe. Because this stuff we say is something invisible, we can't see, and constantly moving. It moves, it won't stop. Once it stops, you will see when we discuss in Chinese medicine, you will see what happens once it stops. Extremely fine substance, very small, extremely fine, and it's the origin of all objects in the universe. In some cases, it refers to the essence. So in the philosophy, essence and qi are the same stuff. And from this definition, what we focus on is the characters or the movements of the essence and qi. We don't really care about what they are, what exactly they are, same as the previous question, where human come from. No, we said human come from qi, but what exactly the qi is, we don't care. But what we care is the movements, what's the laws of the qi. So that's the content of the theories. That's also the most important aspect you need to understand and apply in our common life. In the philosophy, the content of this theories, the first one is the essence is the original substance of the universe. What does it mean by this definition, by this statement? Is this essence can made into all kinds of objects in the world, the universe, the planets, the earth itself, our human beings, and the trees, the plants, the nature are all made of essence. And also this is exactly why human beings have the connection to the nature, to everything around us. What's the agents in between? That's essence. Because the essence can transform into human being also can transform into essence. And this kind of essence, or this group of essence, you transform into other objects. That's the connection. The second is essence is the agent through which all things and worlds are connected with each other. So that's something we already explained. If you want to connect to each other, what's the agents in between essence and qi? Such as the qi, we breathe in to the lung and then breathe out. Breathe in and out the air, qi. In Mandarin, exactly this can refer to the air, the breathing air. So as we inhale and exhale, the air we breathe in and breathe out, the air is not the same air. The component of the air has changed. Most obviously is the oxygen. So the oxygen in the breathing air, while you breathe in and out, they changes. But that's the agents from our human body to the nature, they change through the qi, through the air. So this is also one example. The third is human beings are transformed the result of essence of the earth and the universe. This statement is not important. We also don't need to focus on there. That's exactly described that human beings are from qi and essence. That's the question we asked at the beginning of this video. What we need to focus on for this theories is the movements and transformation of qi. So as we know that the essence and qi are the substance, very small, very fine, we can't see, but the movements is very important because we're going to use these movements to analyze our human health. We're going to use the transformation of the law of transformation to understand our human health. Also, by the way, when we said that the human being or the universe is made from essence or qi, when we discuss the theories in philosophy fields, essence and qi are the same. So either way you want to say so. But when we said the universe is made of essence and qi, it actually indicates the divine characters in very special characters in Chinese medicine. That's one. Everything is made from one of qi. And then when we use the other theories of yin and yang, all 5 elements, it actually describe the relationship among different substances, among different objects. That's the theories from our philosophy. Everything is made from one, and this one can separate into two. Okay. So then we go to the movements. How many movements of qi will have? Here I gave you some pictures on the right side. The first one is the smoke, the fire, the snow, and the rain. So from the smoke, you will see the smoke is moving through the sky. It's moving upwards. The fire, you can see the flame. Flame also moving outwards. That's also one. That's exactly why when we cook food, we put the food on top of the fire, not at the bottom of the fire or below the fire, right? So something moves outwards. The snow and the rain, something from the sky to the ground. So these two indicate something moved downwards. So from the first picture, something moves up, something moves down, and then go to the bottom, the grass or the flowers. You can see from the primary grass, when it grows bigger and bigger, in terms of the height, it moves upwards. It becomes taller and taller. Also, in terms of the size, becomes thicker, becomes stronger. So something move up, something move out, or become bigger. And from the second flower, you can see from a healthy flower to the withered flower, the leaves moving downwards, and also the withered flower becomes smaller. The size becomes smaller. So here something moves downwards, something becomes smaller. Also from the last picture, for our human, from the baby, from the infant to the toddlers, to the adult, and then to the elders. You can see from this picture, you can see clearly the height. We become taller and taller, and then when we become older, we become shorter and shorter, right? That's the height. Moving up in terms of the height, moving up and moving down, something moving up, something moving down. Also in terms of size, the baby become an adult, we also become bigger, the body. And also when we become older, we become more skinny. So something become bigger and smaller. So all these phenomena in the environment, you will see that's the movements of the qi. How many movements are there? There's only 4 kinds of movements. Ascending, descending, means something moving up, something moving down, or dispersing, something moving out, or gathering, something moving in. So actually all kinds of changes, all kinds of movements, we can separate them, you can divide them into these 4 movements. That's the 4 movements of qi. For example, when we breathe in, that's the qi moving down, that's descending and gathering, and ascending when you breathe out, the qi is moving from the lung to the nose and out of the body, moving up, that's ascending. And as you breathe in, your chest is moving slightly upper and bigger, so it's similar to the dispersing, descending and dispersing. Ascending, we breathe out and the chest become lower, it's gathering. So the movement of all kinds of phenomena is a combination of these 4 types of movements. There's only 4 types of movements. And once these movements become abnormal, there will be problems. For instance, asthma. Everyone must know the asthma, the symptoms of the asthma. One of the most typical symptoms of asthma is the shallow breathing. The shallow breathing, from breathing is something descends and ascends. Shallow breathing means something didn't descend enough. So that's the abnormal of descending. And dispersing, something moves from internal to external. For instance, the sweating. Sweating is something from internal to external. So all these physiological phenomena, we also can explain or we can understand from the philosophy. Then the results of the movements, it doesn't change, it doesn't move for moving. When they move, something changes. There's some laws in the transformation. Formed is from formless. What does it mean from formed? It's from formless. On the first picture, you can see the clouds. The clouds is in the sky. That's something we can see. And where does the clouds come from? On the ocean, from the water in the ocean. The water evaporates into the sky, and then when they gather together, it becomes the clouds. The clouds, when the many clouds they gather together, they become the rain again, go back to the ground, back to the ocean. In this process, you will see that the water evaporates into the clouds. The clouds is something we can see, but the air, the moist air in between, do you see them? Obviously, we don't see them. That's why we said formed, which the clouds is formed from formless. Something we can see is from something we can't see. This principle also explains human being is from qi. Do we see qi? Not really. We can't see the qi or the essence, but we can see the human being. When they gather together, we can see. When they disperse, we don't see. There's some formed from formless. That's the first law. The second is the transformation between different forms, such as the water and the ice. The water can change into ice. When it changes into ice, the size becomes bigger. So it's dispersing. That's the result of the movements. If the water disperses, the volume of the size of the water become bigger. It's going to change into ice. That's the transformation between different forms. And also the transformation can happen in physical body, such as the example we gave you just now, from infants to an adult to elderly to senior people. The height becomes taller and taller, and then becomes shorter and shorter. The body also becomes stronger and stronger, and then weaker and also skinnier. So that's the transformation in our physical body. You also can see the transformation in the plants. So until now, you will see that it's actually what we're discussing is the phenomena in the nature, the phenomenon in our human health. We just use the other way to understand the process. How does this happen? We use the other way to understand. And we're going to learn from the nature. We're going to learn from this movement. All what we do, all what Chinese medicine and acupuncture do, how we maintain our health, is to recover the movement of qi, to recover the full movement of qi. Also, why we become sick, or what happens to the diseases. That's the transformation. Something wrong in between, in the process of transformation, then it becomes diseases. So that's the philosophy we use in Chinese medicine and acupuncture. In the next video, we're going to continue to talk about the essence and qi in Chinese medicine and in acupuncture. So in this video, we have learned the philosophy of essence and qi. In philosophy field, the original meaning of these, and then we adopted these theories into Chinese medicine, into acupuncture. We're going to use these theories with these similar laws found from Foundless to all the transformation between among different forms to guide our clinical practice